Hi soul family, I'm down at Lily's beach. This is Lily's buried right there, my little princess. And my landlord, he's been working on this down here. I gotta show you so much stuff going on right now, it's crazy. I got these chairs at a garage sale for $5 and they're super comfortable, and we got these yesterday or the other day. And then he got that, and then he put here, and he says, here, you can go down there and do your reading down at the water. I haven't been down here for a long time. So the color, what is the, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, look at the color. Right? Wow, so we got a message. Heed wise counsel. Don't listen to your intuition. Don't do what your heart is telling you. This is a time you're going to have to listen and heed wise counsel. And you're going to know that when you see the color green or when it's raining. So we have rain coming in I don't know, several days from now, but clearly I'm surrounded by the color green. I'm doing a reading. And the color here, all around here. And so clearly this is my message, right? Or you. Maybe you're supposed to heed wise counsel now in this reading. So whatever comes up during this reading, the message basically was, no matter how educated you think you are, no matter how informed you feel that you are, no matter how many prophetic dreams, no matter the status in society that you are, no matter what kind of a position you hold in your physical world, no matter how right you believe that you are, when you see the color green or it's raining, you need to listen. So another message to the color green. He's got a green shirt he's flagging over there.
Same color.
So then you need to listen to this reading too, because whatever the message is. The color green represents healing, and it represents love. And this is an algae bloom. Is that crazy or what? Right? So everywhere around us, we're completely 100% surrounded by green. And next door, let's see, I'll show you. Even a green fish. So I walk down the hill and I'm coming down, and the next door neighbors, there's a wedding. Or a baby shower? I don't know, it must be a wedding. There's pink balloons, white balloons, there's arches, there's an arch over there. So new beginnings, right? Whether it's a baby, whether it's a wedding, whether it's a shower, whatever it is, it's all about new beginnings. So I've got to figure out what I can set I should have thought of this ahead of time, of course. Let's see if this bucket, I can use this bucket. And I'll set this up. So I have 5 different decks. It's interesting. I watched in my dreams last night putting on purple eyeshadow. And it means all kinds of different things, right? Eyeshadow. In a dream, the symbology of eyeshadow, oh, that worked out really well. In a dream, symbology of eyeshadow is trying to, of course, make yourself appear better, look better than you are. It can also represent narcissism, like over emphasis on self. And in my dream, I was going to put on this purple eyeshadow, which is weird, purple, and there was somebody that was with me that they call by my daughter's name, Lisi, and she had taken it and she had broken it up, so it was like powder. And I was mad, and I said, why did you do that? Because I liked it solid, so I could just kind of put the brush in and use it like an eyeliner, right? And it destroyed it, and the color changed, and everything was different in it, and I was mad. So what's really interesting is I normally just put very little eye color or anything on, really. I just kind of like it more natural, and every day it's always the same. It's always just kind of like beige, nothing really, and eyeliner, and that's it, right? So I'm getting ready, and I didn't know I was coming down to do a reading. I was talking to my friend Blaine, and I was talking to his friend, my friend Blaine that has the brain surgery that is now not able to be done, right? So we were talking back and forth about everything, and I started to get ready because I'm just working on, it's kind of like driving to work, right? You don't think about it, you just start doing it. And look at my eyeshadow. Purple. And I thought, wow, it was me. I was there. That was me putting on the eyeshadow, talking to somebody else. So that's a message just to myself, but purple is also a spiritual color, right? Purple is spirituality, it's connecting with spirit. I didn't like the fact that it was all broken up. The person that I was dealing with had crushed it, and I wanted it solid. That makes sense, right? You would want your spirituality to be solid. And it's funny because I was talking to my friend Blaine, and he's, you know, resigning himself to the fact that, you know, they can't operate on the tumor on his brain, and they're telling him that, you know, I mean, it's swelling. This vein that's wrapping tight around the stem is to the point where it's inoperable now. And so I saw things happening, and what I was getting was, I think it's going to rupture, but when it ruptures, you're not going to die. It's going to, because I saw them stitching afterwards. And then I got that song, needle in the thread, get you out of my head. If I don't get you out of my thread, it's going to be the death of me. I'm going to be needing stitches, needle in the thread. So we were talking about faith and about asking for Spirit's help. And he's a Virgo, and he's very stubborn, and he's very strong, takes care of himself, takes care of everybody else, never asks for any help, asks for nothing for himself, always does for others. And I asked him if he, you know, I said, do you understand that Spirit is bound by free will? We're all bound by free will, but even angels aren't allowed to cross our free will. If we don't ask for their help, they can be watching us struggling, right? But they can't step over and ask for help unless we ask. It's our choice. It's free will. And a lot of times, so many of us are so used to doing for ourselves, it's really difficult for us to ask for help from anybody. And oftentimes we forget to ask for Spirit's help. So he was arguing with me and telling me that it was hopeless and this is what it was going to be. And I said, it's not hopeless. Nothing is ever hopeless. You're wrong. That's why miracles are called miracles, because nobody understands how they happen. Nothing is impossible for Spirit. Nothing. And I have been told death is not going to take you. And I believe it. And I said, you have to believe it. And he's, you know, trying to placate me, you know, like, dear Sherry, you know, da-da-da-da. And so I'm coming back and I'm just as hard, and I said, you're so bloody stubborn. And he says, so are you. And I said, that's right. And then he says, well, what about this lump in my neck? What is that? You know, I think it's a tumor. And I said, that lump in your neck is your stubbornness. That lump in your neck is your support. That's your healing. From that lump, it's healing, and it's going to slide into whatever needs to be here. It is whatever you say it is. You know, people shrink their own tumors because what they think. You tell your body what it thinks, and you sit there and tell your body that that's a tumor. You're going to create a tumor that wasn't even there. You don't even know that that was there, right? And I don't even care. It doesn't matter anyway. Even if it is what you think it is, you're going to make it be something different. And I said, and he was just, you know, it's him. It's happening to him. It's not happening to me, right? So of course he's going to be more. I mean, hello, he's going through this, right? He's facing the scariest thing in his life. And so I said, that's fine. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe it. I'll believe it for you. But I need you to do one thing for me. I need you to ask our Father for a miracle. And he wouldn't do it. We went around and around forever, and I said, just ask, and he wouldn't do it. And I said, look, you know what? You don't have to believe it. I don't care if you believe it. And he kept saying, you're such a good friend to me. You've always been such a fabulous friend. And I said, great. I said, so then say it for me. Humor me. Just say. And I wrote it down. I said, I just copy these words. And he didn't. And then finally he wrote it. Father, please, I need a miracle. Please give me a miracle. And I said, thank you. That's all you needed to do. And then I asked him, have you ever asked the Father? Have you ever asked him? And he said, no. No. Not for himself. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You've got a brain tumor and you've never asked the Father for help. And this is somebody who does nothing but help other people, right? And has a faith in a higher power, but has never asked for help for himself. Why is that? Because we forget. And I'm just like, okay, that's all you needed to do. I was bawling. And I said, I left the room because I was just, so I'm brushing my teeth and I go, hold on, I'm going to take these glasses off. They're too dark, but I need to be able to see. That's why I have them on. So I take the glasses. I start brushing my teeth and I say, okay, Dad, that's all you wanted. That's all he needed to do, right? That's all he needed to do. He just needed to say, I need help. That's all. And that's it. So now help him. So now create the miracle. Show him. Prove to him that there's a reason why they're called miracles. oh my God, you know, this is unprecedented. We don't know why this happened. We've never experienced this before. Well, now you have, right? Now you have. So that's just a message to you people and to myself to not forget that, you know what, while we're so busy helping everybody else, that we don't forget to ask Spirit for help as well. So a raven's flying by me right now. Okay, that wasn't a crow. Did you guys catch it? It's a raven. Raven means magic and miracles. I don't see ravens around here much. Usually the ravens are out in the fields. They're out in more country when you drive out, but they're not around here. So that was clearly a sign, right? So, the items that you're going to choose from, I heard the algae bloom. The algae bloom. If you want to know what an algae bloom is, it's that. It's yucky looking, but I love the smell of it. I love when a lake turns over. Myself, it's renewal, right? It's spring is here. So the algae bloom, we'll pick Lily's Beach. We will have the lake. And we will have the sun, the divine masculine. So we can do our healing right now before we start. Let's do it, right? So take a look at that sun and imagine that. It's probably going to be bright. For you, it won't hurt as much as it hurts my eyes. So my eyes are closed. So I ask the Father right now, I'm using that divine masculine energy, and that is to infuse me, Father, with unconditional love. Pour it in through my crown. And as it goes into my crown, it's going to fill me from the bottom of my boots all the way to the top. So right from my root chakra to my crown chakra, filling up. And as it goes past all the other chakras, they're all highlighted. And as each one of them gets hit, they get ignited and they start to spin. Spin, 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 and everything's moving. And what's moving? Unconditional healing love, right? We've asked for unconditional love, so it's inside of us. And it is burning away any doubt, fear, worry, negative thoughts, intentions, anything that we fuck up in our own daily life with the words that we say. And the things and the thoughts that we think, burning that away. My heart chakra is already spinning. It just went straight to my heart chakra. It's literally spinning. And now it explodes out the top. And as it explodes out the top, it's like a volcano, and it shoots and it pours down the outside of us, and then it hits the water. And when it hits the water, it solidifies. Solid, rock solid. And it turns into titanium. Titanium plating, but it's rainbow titanium. You guys seen the rainbow titanium crystal? I have it. I should have brought it down. That's what we have on the outside, and then we ask for a mirror plating on the outside. So now what's going on is anything that gets shot towards us gets bounced right back off because it's a mirror. It hits a mirror, right? And anything that vibrates out from us, it's just unconditional healing love that's coming out towards everyone else, so it's only good, right? We're protected. So now we have our protective field. I thought of something else while I was doing that I wanted to talk to you about. It was about twin souls. So I've had a lot of people writing to me recently about the twin soul relationship, right? Someone wrote to me this morning and said, I got a letter from, someone telling me that there is no twin soul relationship. It isn't really real. What it is it's a narcissist and an empath. The narcissist controls the empath and keeps them there. They never get what they want because all they want is their power. And this person's very upset. And I said, well, I asked the Father, when will my twin come home? And he told me when he comes with crystals in his hands. And I said, and a couple of weeks later, through a series of synchronistic events that nobody could plan, I ended up in front of him. And he was there with crystals in his hands. And it was the person I know is my twin. So I said, I believe. I mean, my profile picture right now, I put it up because apparently people need to understand that. I believe. My belief in spirit is so strong that if spirit told me to jump off a cliff, I would say, how high, what time should I be there, what should I wear, and let's do it. I believe in spirit 100%. And I have to say this to remind myself when I'm going through stuff. And when I'm asking for the Father's help, I'm asking, right? I'm asking for a miracle for my friend Blaine. I'm asking because that is going to be such a loud message to so many people. That you're really real. And that you love us, and that there's angelic support, and that things happen that people can't explain. I said to that person, I have things happen every day of my life that I can't logically explain. It comes through spirit, but I trust it. It's happening. I see it unfold in front of me. The other thing about the twin souls, it looks as though the masculine, divine masculine, is a narcissist because the divine feminine is unconditionally loving and going after and holding and having this faith in this one who doesn't treat them with respect, doesn't give them the love that they deserve, right? It looks like a narcissist. I'll take that from you, but I'm not going to give anything back. But that's not what's going on. The divine feminine has already gone through the dark night of the soul. The divine masculine gets that reawakening when they connect with the divine feminine, and they begin to go through the dark night of the soul. The divine feminine, since she's already gone through that, she is the leader. She is the forerunner. She is the one. And so they look at it and they don't like it. They consider, why is she chasing me? I'm the man. I'm the masculine. I'm the one that should be going after the woman, right? And then they run from it. They don't like it. But it's all part of this whole thing. It's not a game. The divine feminine is there to ignite. She has to take on this masculine role. We are the divine masculine until the divine masculine takes his role. And then we become equal. No one is ever over the other. But we are the divine masculine, as in we come across very strong. Our masculine energy, and it's our divine masculine that ignites that in us. They have to ignite that in us because at first we're chasing them. We're, at first it's not a pretty picture for the divine feminine. And then she gets into her power. And she's getting into her power because her divine masculine has woken that up in her. So then she starts to remember who she is and she gets into her empress power. She's not going to be anybody's doormat. She's not going to be walked over and treated with disrespect. She loves her divine masculine, but she won't be treated the way things were before, which is confusing for him because this is the way it's always been. But no longer, because she wants him to come back and be on an equal level, right? There will be no one person over the other. There is no competition, which is interesting because the males feel that she's competing, but she's not. She doesn't want competition. She wants a partner, an equal. She knows who he is. He knows too, but we're working through these issues. So then we also have to go through issues because then we have to deal with the world that we grew up in where it's not popular for a female to be masculine in nature, strong, right? Outspoken, standing in a place like me. I saw this in my dream the other night. She's taking on, what did they say? She's appointed herself an elder. She's not supposed to do that. And I laughed and I knew exactly what it was. She's appointed herself an elder like to stand up in front. Because as a Jehovah's Witness growing up, the elders in the congregation were men. Women were not allowed to be an elder. They were not allowed to stand in front of the congregation and speak to the congregation. They could do little skits, but they couldn't speak as an elder, right? That was only for the men. And the women were to wear a head covering, and the women were to be in subjection to the masculine, right? And a lot of people have grown up in religion. They believe this way. So to see a woman running her own business, speaking very strongly, and actually speaking to a man, and it sounds like you're putting them in their place, that's aggressive energy. That, are you going to be looked at as a bully? Are you going to be looked at as tyrannical? Are you going to be looked at as arrogant, right? But it's not coming from that place if you're in a balance, if you're doing it in a spiritual manner. I don't see myself above my twin ever. I know what my twin's capable of, but see, that's the thing. I expect it of him. I've talked to you guys all about this before, how often I've been told, you have really high expectations. No, I don't. This is our first message, Circus of Love. We'll talk about that in a minute. No, I don't have high expectations. I have realistic expectations because we are all capable of the best, right? And I know what my twin's capable of, and I expect that from him, and no less than that. Just like myself, right? I know what I'm capable of. So it's about rising to the occasion. It's about, and when the divine masculine ignites the divine masculine within the feminine, he raises us up to remind us who we are and remember the power. Because remember, the twin soul relationship, it's a relationship of service first, right, for the world. And so we both have to be very strong, standing on our own, able to handle ourselves, not leaning on the other to support us. And that doesn't mean that at times we both don't look to the other for support. That's not what it is. But you can't lean on somebody, constantly lean on somebody. I told you how the giant sequoia, if another sequoia leans on it, it'll knock it over. A 500-foot tree with a giant base, it'll be knocked over if another tree leans on it. If there's too much water, it'll fall over, even though it's this giant, massive sequoia, right? So we can't lean on one another. You can't put the pressure like that on another. You have to be able to stand on your own. And it's two strong, developed people that come together. That's when the twin souls come together. When the male's worked through his karma, when the female has worked through her karma. And we have learned our lessons and we've come to a place where we're both standing strong on our own. But it's not that the divine feminine is being aggressive and has all of a sudden turned into a bitch and is looking down at her divine her masculine. We never do. We always love them. And they always love us. So for those who are curious, like I said, I've been getting a lot of emails. Everyone knows I'm in a divine union. So I don't see my twin as broken. I don't see my twin as hurting. I see my twin hurting. I see my twin in pain, just like I am. But I see him handling it. I know he can. He's got the ability. Whatever he's going through, he can handle it. But that doesn't mean he's not supposed to reach out for help, because the divine masculine needs to realize that they need their divine feminine as their partner. So it's encouraging the divine masculine to reach out to his divine feminine just like we would to them, right? Just like you would in any healthy relationship. There's not just one. You look at a wolf pack. My hair's a disaster today. Can't believe I came down here. I didn't do my hair. It's like, ugh. Like a wolf pack. That's what I love about the wolf pack. I was talking to my twin, and we were talking about, I'm an alpha female, right? I am. I'm an alpha. I'm an Aries. I'm an alpha female. And it's not even just that I'm an Aries, it's that I'm a twin soul. So yes, I'm an alpha female. And I said something about him being an alpha male. And he said, yes. And I said, well, no, I just wondered why he was running, or why he was or not able to do whatever it was. And I said, well, maybe you're not an alpha male. He did not like that. He said, I am all alpha. But then that can be an issue too, right? If you're all alpha, you got to have a balance there. So if there's an issue with pride, there's no balance. That doesn't mean that, because there is a situation that happens in the twin soul relationship where the one wants to dominate the other, and that's not meant to happen. And like I said, even if you are, maybe this is the message that you don't want to hear, right? If you are in a field where you're at the top of your game, right? You are the head, you're the CEO, everyone comes. Do you realize that I command armies? I command people, right? Of course you do, you're an emperor. But so do I, right? And you're like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna listen to this little, who are you, right? That's ego. Because the person that was going to give you the message, when we saw the color green, which is every freaking place all around us, was a little toad, right? Was a little frog. So whether it's me today or later today, I get this message, because it's gonna happen today, right? This is the time where you're not gonna think. You're not gonna do what you think you're supposed to do. You're not gonna listen to what your heart has said about something. You're going to heed wise counsel. So I wanna see what this has to say, because it's gonna have to be for me as well. So the Circus of Love was our first message. I'll just tell it to you briefly, because this is a pre-shuffle. So this isn't for I'm not telling you who this is for. If it applies to you, you'll know it, right? The pre-shuffle, I have to let you know what pops out. So the Circus of Love, let me find the picture of it again, because of course I shuffled it away. So the number is 3 and 5, right? 3, full circle completion. 5, there are arguments, disagreements as to how to proceed. Like, think about that. Say the divine masculine thinks this is what we should be doing. We should be going like this. And the divine feminine is saying, no, this is what we should be doing. And so there's a difficulty agreeing how, oh, it's right on top. I shuffled it away and it came right on top. I shuffled it. You guys have been listening to me shuffle, and on top again, there it is. So this is your message. So who stands in front of you with the blue eyes, right? With the silver all around her, silver purifying water, with the love coming from her. This is not coming from a place of arrogance. It's coming from love. So I talked about the wolf pack, right? There's an alpha wolf female and an alpha male. They take turns taking the lead. She goes under his neck when another aggressor comes at him, not because she's afraid of him, because she's protecting his neck. They're preparing and they work as a team. We're on each other's team, right? We're on each other's team. And the divine feminine is getting kind of tired of throwing her hands up in the air, right? We're kind of older than when we began this whole thing. So understand that I am not your enemy. I'm not working against you. You're my teammate. I am your partner. I am your divine counterpart. You will not be above me, but I do not want to be above you. There's the message for all who've been asking about the divine masculine, divine feminine, and what the hell's going on with these twin souls, right? And it took me a long time. My twin will tell you, it was obnoxious. I was obnoxious. I looked desperate, but it wasn't, that's not what it was. It's just the way it works with the twin souls. We got to learn our own self-respect, right? So when the Circus of Love comes forward, it's basically telling you that you're about to win something. Right? I told you there's a wedding right next door being set up, right? So it's about opening your heart. It's about forgetting excuses. Let go of whatever your excuses are that you're holding on to right now. Don't run away. Basically, the message is don't turn away from where your heart is pulling you. So even if your mind is telling you something different, your heart is pulling you somewhere. So I was given a message about the situation, and it looks really bad, right? It looks really bad. I mean, I've got this option, I've got that option. Why would I go there, right? There's all this, that, and the other, and that person's lying to you left, right, and center. Why would you trust that person? I know where my heart tells me to go, right? And I trust my heart. So that's a message about not necessarily following what you should be following. And Spirit is telling you in this message, where's your heart pulling you? Go where your heart is leading you. Okay, I'm not going to go further into that because, wow, Joker's Wild is our next message. And the Joker's Wild is telling us that basically all hell can break loose. It can be anything. This is a wild card. You can't call it. You can't call it. You don't know what's going to happen, which way it's going to go. All you know is that you're about in for the ride of your life. And no matter how bad things look, Blaine, no matter how many walls you've hit, you hold the trump card, and the trump card wins and beats everything out. You are the winner. That's the message. So for those who chose Lily's Beach, we did say Lily's Beach, right? Because I'm going to pick Lily's Beach. We said Algae Bloom, Lily's Beach, the Divine Masculine, and which is the Sun, and was it the Lake? Gosh, guys, I suck at this. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose Lily's Beach, I did. Correct for neutrality on all levels. So sometimes we think, okay, this is what I need to do right now, and then you get a message right now coming up and Spirit contradicts it. This is when you have to listen. This is heeding wise counsel. Now, it may not even come in a message like this, right? It could come like, oh, I'm going to go do this, and my landlord's saying, you know what, I don't think that's a good idea. Oh, but I really want to go. You know what, I really don't think that's a good idea. I have to stop and remember, everything around me is green. This is the day. This is the day for all of us. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose Lily's Beach. Sweetheart, you look at this one. She looks like, see how she's eating her lollipop? Now, when I first looked at this, I looked like, look at her lips. Can you see it? I don't know if it's a little too dark. Oh, I made it worse, didn't I? Oh, that was even worse. There. If you look at her lips, it looks like she's got candy stuck on her face, right? From her lollipop. But that's not what it is, because if you look closely, her shoulders are bruised. So this is an abusive situation. This is, you possibly have known violence in your life. You may be in a violent relationship. You may have had a father that was extremely abusive to you. You may have had a mother that was abusive to you with her words. You may have had a lover. You may be in a relationship where somebody treats you with disrespect. It's abuse, right? And Spirit is saying, you don't deserve this. This has tortured your mind. It's tortured you. And Spirit says, that's enough. It's enough for this. No more. You see what's flying right by her? That's a ladybug. That says your wishes are going to be fulfilled. Spirit says no more of this bullshit in your life. There's way too much violence in this world. And you don't need to be blaming yourself, beating yourself up. A lot of times it's our own self that beats ourselves up from the inside, right? I could have, should have done this. I shouldn't have done that. It was the worst mistake I ever made. Blah, it was a learning lesson, right? But we don't forgive ourselves. And there's no way that there's going to be healing in this planet if we can't begin to heal ourselves first. We have to forgive ourselves, heal ourselves, one by one by one, and that's how it spreads throughout the planet. So right now, Spirit is saying that there's bruises. And now this one you can see physical bruises. Nobody saw the bruises on me when I was abused in my 10-year relationship. I hid them, right? Somebody saw, my girlfriend saw them once, but people get very adept at hiding. Oh, we just had a little cormorant land. And he doesn't have a ring around his neck. Cormorant says, you will dive down under your emotional waters and you will emerge safe and sound. Don't let other people make you work and not give you what you are owed. That's what the cormorant says. So it's a message of and look, they're they're in flight, 4 of them. Oh no, are those our Canadian geese? I need to see if those are our Canadian. I think those might be our 4 babies. If they're our Canadian geese, the message is never leave a wounded bird behind. Maybe there's somebody in your life that you're helping that's been dealing with this kind of a situation, right? I watched that in my dreams. Somebody's father was extremely abusive to them and to the wife, to their daughter and to the wife. I watched that. And it was a friend of mine that was helping them. So that might be a representation of that. Never leave a wounded bird behind. But they're flying, right? And there's 4 angels flying all around you. You're completely guided, protected, and loved. So are you in a position where you need to ask the Father for help, right? Ask someone else for help. Don't be so proud. You could be a man that is dealing with this kind of bullshit, and you're not, and you're embarrassed because you're a man, right? And you're afraid to ask for help. But that's your message. Ask for help. You've got help around you. All you need to do is say the words. I made Blaine write them down, and he did, right? So right now here, you have to stop beating yourself up, or you have to stop another from doing that, or you have to ask for help. You need to make an effort of some sort. Spirit said that one cycle is ending and a new cycle is beginning. This negativity, this sadness and this upset is this toxic relationship is passing away. This is no longer allowed for you anymore. And no matter how much somebody tells you that they love you, when they are abusive to you, it is not love. That is narcissism. That is narcissism. It could be your mom, it could be your wife, it could be anyone. But if somebody is toxic and abusive towards you, you need to do some relationship overhauling. That's what this message is. Now, my heart says I love him. Remember that one message, follow your heart? Well, we're also supposed to not listen to what our heart says. So if I'm staying in an abusive relationship because my heart is saying that I love this person, Spirit is saying it's time for you to place distance between you and this relationship, right? They tell you they love you, but they're not showing you that they love you. Or they may be loving you, and then when things go wrong or they don't like the way things go, they become extremely abusive and toxic, right? So you know that this is not a healthy relationship. You already know that, but you're staying there. Why? I don't have the money to leave. I don't have, bullshit. You are making excuses because Spirit says if you have a problem in a situation like this, they're telling you to go. Go with the shirt on your back. Don't be too proud to show up. I got a backpack and that's it. I left my 5-bedroom house with a pool and a gated community. I'm going to tell the story till the end of time. That's why it happened to me. 5-bedroom house in a gated community, pool in the backyard, 4Runner in the front yard, convertible in the garage, golden retriever, a cat, 3 big fish tanks, house full of furniture. I left it with 1 suitcase and I never went back. I started my spiritual life over. I started over. It was the best thing I ever did. Everything. I ended up having my friends pack up my stuff, put it into a storage unit. My storage unit was stolen. I lost everything. Look where I live. You know, I know that I don't have a 5-bedroom house, but I'm not paying $3,000 a month either, right? I'm sitting here right now. I've got a landlord that's my friend that cares about me, right? I started building my own business. I created my own business. I've got a large following of the work that I do. I've got a great clientele. I love what I do. I help people all day long. I work for myself now. I don't work for a boss who won't let me talk about my beliefs, even though I loved him. That's another message, right? I loved my boss. I still talk to him. I still make comments on his post. He's a wonderful man, a very religious man who was afraid of what I did and said I wasn't allowed to talk about it. And that wasn't okay. I shouldn't have to hide who I am, right? So I don't now. I wasn't meant to be there. So that was one of the, you look at all the things that happen, right? House is gone. All the memories, all the photo albums, all the stuff. Everything had a past. Everything had a history. Everything held energy. I was supposed to release it all and start again. So if that has to happen, what is more important? Your physical sanity and your sense of self-respect and self-worth, or the stuff that you're around? But there are so many people that are addicted to plastic. They're addicted to things. They're addicted to a beautiful home. And that was the person that I watched in this house. It's funny because I'm watching it in the dream and I'm thinking I'm watching this happen like I'm someone else. But I think I was literally watching the person I'm connected to, who was in this house. There was a father and a mother and a son. And the father was extremely abusive to both of them. She wouldn't leave because the house was beautiful and had too much money and there was too many things. I've witnessed that in my own life with a friend of mine. She wasn't in love with her husband. She wasn't in love with him. She loved somebody else. She actually had a secret affair with somebody else and wouldn't leave because she was set financially. And I said, you know, this is awful. I said, it's not okay. You need to leave that situation. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to him. Whether, you know, he wasn't abusive to her. She just didn't love him. And she said, it's easy for you to say. You can go without. I can't. I like my BMW. I like my stuff. I like going to, you know, on vacations all around the world. I like that. You don't have to do that. Well, you think I don't like nice things? My father was Midas. I grew up with a shitload of money. My parents had a hacienda. I mean, yeah. You know, I had turned 16, I was given a car. I mean, my life wasn't always pleasant, believe me. It went down, up, and down. But I know what it's like to have nice things. But I would rather have nothing than deal with that. So it's about priorities here, and Spirit is saying so many things to you right now. This is about overhauling a relationship, you know, overhauling relationship ideas, and not listening to what your heart is saying or what your mind is telling you, because right now you're not making the right choice, right? So no matter how much they tell you that they love you, clearly they don't. Clearly you know that this situation is not healthy. They're abusive emotionally. They withhold love from you. They cut you down, they undermine you, they hit you. Who knows what they might do? It's a very cold place. It's all about money. Here, go take this, go buy something, right? Or whenever they're mad, they attack you. Come on. Don't tell me that that's a place where you're meant to be. You're not. It's clear. So this is the message for you guys that are fighting that, and you know who you are right now, who I'm talking to, my girlfriend. This is when we're supposed to heed wise counsel, right? And it's like, just like Blaine, I don't see how this is going to happen. It's not our job to figure out how it's going to happen. It's just our job to say, Father, I need out. Help me. Whatever I need to do. And then see, that's the thing. You need to be willing to do whatever you need to do, right? I was in this other state. I was in this other state with my suitcase, and it was time for me to go home. And I went outside, and I lived in a place where I was visiting a place called Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, right? This is like, I mean, we're talking, I came from Southern California, very busy, right? I had a very active clientele. I was very social. If people knew me way back, they'll remember, you know, I was the dancing girl 5 nights a week at the club dancing. I had a great life, right? The beach, friends, parties, all the time. And I land in this little town, one-horse town. I'm telling you, one-horse town, one main street. And it was like being thrown back in time for me. And so I was out, it was late at night. It was, there was snow on the ground, and there was Christmas lights on outside, I remember. And steel bridge, a big freightliner went through, and the bridge raised, and something had been said to me by Spirit. That was the signal, that was the sign. And as soon as that bridge went up, I knew that was my message. I can't remember how Spirit told it to me, and I said, oh my God, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I didn't know that was happening, but I listened. And you want to talk about taking a leap of faith? I only had so much money, right? Had no job, had nowhere to live, had a house sitting there that was, you know, upside down. I walked away from my house, walked away, got a $3,000 check, which I didn't even know I was getting for the first 6 months that I was gone. I had no idea I was going to get anything, right? But it all worked out. Spirit unrolled things like you wouldn't, like, it was unbelievable. The synchronistic events that unfolded, it was clear that I was meant to be there. All of a sudden, you can stay here. People love you. You love the inn. They love the way you talk about the inn. Would you be my hostess? You can live in room 3. You can have the cat. You can everything. Everything was just like boom, 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 boom. Wow. That is when Spirit's working for you. But it's us that has to take the first leap. I didn't have all of that unroll before I made my choice. I made my choice first. It's kind of like with my twin. I've got options, right? I've got other people that have come back into my life. And I was asked, you know, what do you want? I had to make my choice without my twin being here. I know what I chose. I made my choice. Before I had any signs or any proof that he was coming forward, I needed to make that choice. And that is what Spirit's asking you to do. And sometimes that's scary for you, but you know what? What's worse? Staying in that. So you need to make your choice now. And then you need to say to the Father, this is what I want, right? So what do you do after that? That's it. Right then, you just take that one first step, and then as things unroll, you'll know what to do next. Okay, next message. Thank you, Lily. That was for Lily. Lily, my little angel. She's my little guide. For those who chose the Divine Masculine, and I did that too. I'm going to take all these messages today. My solar plexus is spinning. Sorry, I forgot to say thank you, Father. We didn't say thank you for the Father filling us with unconditional healing energy. Check this out. 2 Divine Masculines going by right now. I find that quite interesting. Feeding on the algae bloom. 2 Divine Masculine. Because right now, It looks as though that's what's going on, right? The divine feminine seems to be coming across as the divine masculine. But it's just for a very short time. We had to have that awakened in us. There's nothing wrong with the divine feminine having the divine masculine in her, right? And so maybe that's your message right now. You need to step into your divine masculine energy. Whether you're a twin soul or not, in order to deal with that relationship, you need to step into the divine masculine role. I'm not going to be treated with disrespect. I'm not going to allow this to happen. I don't know how this is going to work, but it's going to work. It's going to work out. Because I have faith. I have trust. Correct for neutrality. And look at their heads, you guys. What color are their heads? Green. We got nothing but love and healing all around us. And the fact that we aren't supposed to follow what we think we're supposed to do. We're supposed to heed wise counsel. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the divine masculine, I certainly did. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the divine masculine. I'm laughing at my jacket. I feel like Don Johnson with this white jacket. If you could see, I've got black and white leggings on. So it's like, why is she wearing that? White. Oh, it's funny. Okay, for those who chose the divine masculine, I love the smell of the lake when it turns over. Autumn is my last hope, my last chance. Okay, so that's probably where you're at, right? These are gonna all roll together. Cold, feeling out in the cold, feeling ignored. Here's the divine feminine right now. We feel out in the cold, right? We know where our divine masculine is, but we do feel left out in the cold. So do you feel left out in the cold? Is that where you are? You feel like nothing's working for you, right? Look how her hair's greasy. It kind of feels like me right now. My hair's not greasy, but it feels like yuck to me. When you have long hair, I like to have it washed every day. Her coat's dirty. There's no apples on those trees. There's nothing. Harvest is come and gone. It's cold out there. It's probably going to be raining. It probably rained last night, right? And all she has is that one apple. And she's just like, I don't have enough. And that was the message that I heard from my friend when I told her, you know what you need to do. You've known a long time what you need to do. Yeah, but I need to get enough money. I don't have enough money to do this, right? Wrong. Wrong. When it's time to go, it's time to go, whether you have enough money or not. But all I have is this. If I can just get that much money together. But the whole thing, the reason it's happening and the way it's happening in this way is because this is about you trusting, right? This is about you taking that leap of faith. That was in my dreams last night. I was with this person. He had dark hair, dark skin, and we were standing on this rock, this rocky mountain. And I felt what he felt because I was in his body. I was looking at him, but I also felt what he felt. And I went to the side and I looked over the edge and I was literally terrified. And I looked at the person and I said, I know that I'm confident. Now this is also me, right? I know that I'm confident. I know that I'm strong. But when I get up this high and I look down at that water, I get vertigo and I'm terrified. So that water is emotional water. Right now in the sky, there's 4 planes, white ones. I don't know if you can just see those little white dots, but there's 4 of them. Again, spirit to the rescue. White is spirit. White is coming clean. White is purity. White is truth. White is innocence. White is the truth, right? I'm spirit's mouthpiece right now. This is spirit talking, not me. 4 of them coming to the rescue. You do not have to have enough money. You don't have to have the job. You don't have to have the place to go. All you need to have is the will to leave, right? Or to hold on. So for me, I'm looking down at this water below me, and we were so high. And I'm a monkey. I can climb anything, right? And so I turned around away from the water, which means to me, whoever I was connecting with was gonna do it, and then they turn around. They're gonna do it, then they're gonna turn around. They're fighting with themselves. They start to go there, then they delay. They start to go there, then they delay. And I'm watching it going, ugh! But I felt what they were feeling. It's not that I don't feel and understand what they're going through, because I felt the terror in my chest, right? I have vertigo. I'm a climber, but I have vertigo. When I get to the top, I mean, I can climb like a monkey, but to go back down, it scares the shit out of me, right? So I get it. And so I saw this person throw a rock. I did it. I said, there's somebody down there. And I threw the rock to see, and they didn't look. They didn't look. So I'm throwing this rock over. I think that's interesting. I'm throwing this rock down at the bottom. And I was trying to explain to the person, I am confident. I am strong. I'm not a baby. I'm not a wimp. I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of, but that scares me. You know, somebody not wanting to take the leap into an emotional situation. Could it be a job? Could it be a move? Could it be leaving an abusive, toxic situation? Could it be standing up and speaking your truth publicly? I don't know, but number six is about family. Number 6 is about victory. Number 6 is about memories, nostalgia, people from the past, reuniting. Number 6 also says, don't be so freaking stressed out and focused on this material world. There is more than this material world. We are spirit creatures living in a material life. Now, yes, I'm a very powerful spirit creature. I spoke about this the other day to someone. I understand my power, but I'm limited by this human suit that I wear, right? So I know that I'm an angel walking. I don't put myself on level with the archangels because at this time while I'm down here, I am limited by my physical suit. But they're not. My team's not. So I call on my brothers. I call on my cousins, my archangels. And there may be a message for you. Call your brother. Call your cousin. Ask for help. Now, I know that there is a cousin that's been draining their cousin of their help, just leaning on them. You don't do that. Somebody needs, that's a way out, is what I'm getting. Someone needs to call their brother or their cousin and ask for help in this situation. Now, it doesn't have to be that you, again, are in this dire situation. For me, if I were to take this personally for myself, mine is about remembering that I'm wearing this human suit. I know, like I said in that message, in that dream I watched, I know how powerful I am. I am confident, but I'm also scared. There's things I'm afraid of as well, right? And when I get that way, I need to remember to ask Spirit for help. I need to remember that I shouldn't expect perfection out of myself because I still am limited because of this human suit that I wear, right? All around me is love and healing. All around me are Spirit's messages. All I have to do is ask for help. So what they're saying is there's something that you have. This is another message. When I left my state and left my home and I left my job, what was I going to do, right? I was a stylist. I had been a hairstylist for so many years. I had a giant clientele. I was making really good money. I left it. I had nothing. Now what do I have? And Spirit said, that's not true. That's not true. You know what you have. What I had was my spiritual gifts. I had my truth. And that's what they wanted me to develop. And I started kind of limping along. It took me a while, but then I got kind of caught up in that society where I was. I was in a beautiful place with wonderful people, good people. It was a healing place for me. But I was there for a year and Spirit said, that's enough. It's time to move on. You now need to move up your next step. So that might happen to us, right? We might get ourselves out of a situation. But then we get into another place where we're stalling. Remember? Stalling. I look at that water. Oh, no, I go back. No, I go back. You know you're supposed to take that next leap. That next step up. Whatever that is for you that you've been avoiding. You know what that is. And you're thinking, I don't have enough. What you have is enough. Whether it's money, whether you're the person who knows that you're supposed to connect with your twin soul, but you don't have the money, you don't have the job, you're not financially supported enough in order to reach out, and Spirit's telling you take that leap, she's not expecting you to support her. You support yourself, she'll support herself, or let her help you. This is a test. This is a test. It's a test on pride and ego. There is no ego in Spirit. Right? It's embarrassing to ask for help. It's embarrassing for them to see me like this. I'm not well, right? I've got a problem here. I need to go to rehab. I need to go, I have surgeries lined up. I haven't been able to work. I lost my freaking job because of this. So did I. I lost my job. I lost my house. I lost my cars. I lost everything. Everything. You have what you need. What you have in your hand or your knowledge in your head, what you hold, you have what it takes. For what I'm watching in my dreams, this one has been the Cormorant, working for everyone else but not getting the money, right? Instead of working for them, work for yourself. That's a scary thing. When I was supposed to do this work, for me, that was terrifying. For me I didn't do videos for a really long time. I did online kind of things, and then I did the videos where you couldn't see my face, right? Just my hands. Because it was terrifying. I was so scared. What if I draw a blank and I don't know what to say? I mean, if you guys went back to my first videos, I'm sure you could see it. But you know what? I went back actually myself. A couple videos have popped up in memory feeds. And I gotta tell you that when I first started out, when I was terrified, I was on fire. I was really on fire. It was not me talking. It was really clear to me that Spirit was talking right through me. And that's what happens. And I will tell you that as a Jehovah's Witness. You know, we used to go door to door. Please, if any Jehovah's Witness comes to your door, don't slam the door in their face. Don't be rude to them. It's extremely hard to do that. I did that when since I was since I was young enough to walk. I've done that. And since I was probably 6 years old, I went to the door by myself. I stood on the street corner, had a woman slap me. I stood on the street corner, had people scream at me. You know, I was doing what I was told to do, right? And then as an adult, I was doing what I thought I was meant to do, like my son is. I don't have anything but respect for people who do things following their heart, and they're doing it in order to help other people. But it's very, very difficult. And I gotta tell you, the door would open and I would freeze. Sometimes I wouldn't get anything out, and all of a sudden my mouth was just speaking. It wasn't me doing it. It was definitely God helping me, because I was mortified. And it happens all the time to me, right? I'm sure it's happened to you too. You don't know what you're saying, you know, somebody says something to you, and all of a sudden everything just starts pouring out of you, you know? So I don't know what to say to them. Yeah, you'll know. You'll know when the time comes. What am I supposed to say? Father, what am I supposed to say? Trust me, I'll show you. A lot of times it isn't even about what you say. It's about your face, it's about your eyes, it's about your body. It's about the fact that you're standing there, right? It's I'm sorry. Says more than 3,000 letters could possibly ever say. I love you. Come on, help me. I was confused, I fell off my path. I made a mistake, I made a bad choice. I'm working back, you know, whatever it is that you need to do. But right now, if you wait for someone to come and help you, they're not coming. That's the message. Hell will freeze over before you get the help you think you're gonna get. There may be someone that's saying that I'm gonna get it. No, they're not. They're not. Spirit is saying this is about you relying on yourself. And then Spirit, right? You can't stand there and wait for me. Wow, that's interesting. I don't know who I said that to. You can't stand there and wait for me. I said that to somebody. You can't stand there and wait for me. I was told last night they walked away from you and they're waiting for you to come back to them. You can't stand there and wait for me. You need to make a step. That's the message, right? This one's gotten lost. I don't even remember what I was doing before I got so lost. What was I looking for? Well, how did I end up here? Why am I here? But I know that I've got this apple, and as long as I hold on to this apple and I don't take a bite of this apple, I'll be okay. It could also be that, like, going back to the twin souls, the divine masculine. That's why people call it the narcissist, right? I know they're loving me. I know they're there. And I'm just checking. As long as they're there, you know, I'm okay. I don't have to go there yet. As long as I'm there. No, that's not the way it is. Spirit says stop relying on other people for comfort. Stop relying on other people for support. You're the one that needs to fill your void. You're the one that needs to take the first step. It doesn't mean you won't get assistance. It means that you need to take the first step. Like Blaine, Father, give me a miracle. Right then a fish jumped out of the water. You see where the ring is right there? Big fish. Big catfish jumped out of the water. Right then. Father, I need a miracle. Right then the fish jumped out of the water. That quickly. That's how quickly God will answer you. Doesn't answer you in the way that you may think. It may not be that somebody comes and gives you that job. You know, I've been applying for this position and it went to someone else. I'm overqualified. I have way more qualifications than them. And God says, you're not getting that job. That's a bad place for you. You need to get the hell out of there. Oh my God, I just got fired. I got fired too. There was a reason. Everything has a reason. Everything is interconnected. Right now, Spirit is saying, what is it that you have? Look at it, feast upon it, and take that step. It's not easy. It wasn't easy for me. It was scary for me, right? I didn't think I could make a living doing what I do, but I do. Nobody takes care of me. I take care of myself. I live in a beautiful place. I go on vacations. I pay for that. Nobody else pays for that. Right? Me, myself, and I do it. I don't live a rich, exotic life, but I am still able to freaking travel all over the place. I go to beautiful places. People look at my pictures and they say, wow, you have an amazing life. Do you realize that? That happened after. Not when I was making $3,000 a month payments, right? So once you take one bite, the first step of whatever this is, you're going to be free of the need of approval for anyone else. Maybe that's it, right? The one that I'm watching, he's the one with the skill. The cormorant that's doing all the work. Why work for them when you can do it yourself? Yes, you are good enough. Yes, you do have the ability. Yeah, but I don't have the backing. Don't worry about that. You don't worry about that. This is where you have to heed wise counsel. Spirit will show you what to do. But if you wait for anyone else to come, it's going to be a cold day in hell. Okay, correct for neutrality on all levels. We're going to go to the Sacred Rebel because I'm kind of feeling rebellious. And we're going to go to the Algae Bloom. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Ooh, these are all messed up. Hold on. I want to have them in the right order. Okay. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Correct for neutrality. Oh, I love it. There's a couple paddle boarding. And she's got her dog on the board in front of her. How cool is that? Can you guys see that? It's a big dog. She's paddling her big dog, her best friend. She's standing up. She's doing the work. He's just sitting there. Is he lazy because he's sitting there and letting her do that? No. She's good at that right now, right? She knows how to do that. So he's letting her and he's enjoying the ride. Why is that a problem for a man? Why is that a problem to allow a female to do something if she's good at it? Because you've been raised in a society or a family that says that the man is the head of the house and he's the provider and he's the one that takes care of the woman, and I'm not having any woman take care of me. I'm not having any woman come pick me up because I don't have my vehicle. I'll wait until I get a vehicle. I'll wait until I get... Dog is best friend, loyalty, love, protection, friendship. That dog is enjoying the ride, right? And she's having fun too. Sometimes it feels really, really good to be able to be the one to help someone, right? Not so that you can look down at them, so that you can help them. Why don't you allow somebody the gift of helping you if they can, right? It feels pretty good. Why should it just be you that gets to help somebody, right? Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the algae blue. Heaven sent. Well, there you go. What did we say? We said, Father, please help me. A fish immediately jumped out of the water. 4 angel birds flew by. Heaven sent. To me, that's the first message, because the number is 33, right? The 33 is, these 3 and 3 is they send it, first of all, full circle completion. But then the next is ascended masters working with you, right? They're all around you. After I spoke to Blaine this morning, I was talking to him, and he was, you know, it was a rough situation. And so I said, Father, I'm trying to do my work. I'm trying to do what I'm meant to do. I need your help. I looked up and I saw Archangel Michael. I have Archangel Michael on the cover of a postcard in Sedona, right? And I have it sitting up there on my little railing above my desk. And I said, I need your help. I'm trying to do my work, but I mean, clearly you can see what I can't see. And I literally heard, you have Archangel Metatron, Archangel Michael at your side, and they said, you have an army. You're not alone, you have an army at your side. You're completely surrounded. That's the Ascended Masters. I work with Archangel Metatron and Michael every day. That's who I talk to all the time. So this is heaven sent, right? This is a spiritual gift, something that comes through grace. It's not something that you have earned, right? You can ask for help and then you get a response immediately. Sometimes you need it immediately. Sometimes it comes a little while later. When I asked my father, when will I see my twin father? You said he was coming home. I needed to see him. We as spiritual twins needed to actually physically touch to reconnect. It's something that we have to do. We have to physically touch. It does something to bring us to the next level. I don't know why that is, but it just is. I wasn't about to touch him in the situation that we found ourselves, but he reached out and touched me. And Father, you promised you'd bring him home. Where is my twin? When he comes with crystals in his hands. And I gotta tell you, I don't care if he had me followed by a private detective and ended up in that place. I wasn't gonna be there. I tried 5 different ways of not ending up where I was at. And I ended up in front of him because it's divine guidance, right? I asked. It took 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks, but there he was. Sometimes it's immediate. Sometimes you need something, like when I said that, Father, I need a miracle, and the fish jumped out of the water right then, right? So it's heaven sent. So something is going to happen. All of our requests are answered. They sometimes just aren't answered in the way that we want them to be answered, or by whom we want them to be answered, or the way. I would have preferred that I got that job. If I got that job, I could have done all this myself. But now, why did you let that guy get the job? Clearly I'm more qualified. If I'd been able to have that job, I could have gone and got her, I could have done this, everything would have been fine. Because that's not your lesson. Your lesson is your ego. Your lesson is trusting in me. Your ego is getting in your way. Your lesson is that you don't have to have all of that in order to step forward when I'm on your side. You have an army. Heaven sent. right with you. Sometimes we cry out in our hearts. We don't say the words. I asked Blaine to type the words. I said, I need you to do it. I needed to see him do it because I wanted him to hear the words, see the words, and visually type them out. That's affirming to the universe. And that's when I said, okay, Father, he asked, bring it, right? Bring it. He did it. So right now, maybe it's our hearts that are crying out, and maybe we don't understand the solution. We're confused. We don't know. Maybe it's been in front of us for a couple months and we haven't seen it, right? And we're taking an option to try and resolve it, but it's a painful option, right? What we're doing, it's not the right one. And the gift that comes, it might be a symbolic gift. I get so many symbolic gifts. My dreams are my symbolic gifts, right? But for me, I was telling someone too, because for me, I know that there are people that are skilled at entering your dreams, especially if there's someone that's connected to you, right? A karmic tie from the past that has failed to be severed. I have an ex that his wife is a witch, literally straight up a witch, does black magic, does binding spells, has psychically attacked me. A spirit kept telling me, cut cords to your ex, and I had no idea what they were who? I've got no ex that I'm even connected to. It wasn't him that was doing it, it was her. And through his connection to me, she got in. So they can get into your dreams. I have had them enter my dreams, and I argue my higher self is there too. I'm aware, right? My dreams are lucid. I had somebody tell me something about my twin, that he was doing this, and I said, no, you're wrong. And they said, no. Look, you can see this is what he's doing. And I said, I don't care what you're showing me. I know him, and he didn't do that, period. And so I was able to do that. So I said, sometimes it gets to the place with myself, because everyone knows that I trust my dreams. I'll get, oh, I had this dream about you, Sherry, or blah, 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 all these details, right? I trust my animal messengers more than I trust anything. Because when an animal comes to me, it's God coming. He's literally sending that animal, and I know what that animal means. And the messages are very, very clear. The cormorant says, don't be doing all the work for another person and them keeping all the money for themselves. Or don't be doing all of the work and them doing nothing for themselves. They are benefiting, you are not. It's not an equal exchange. You will. A cormorant is the one that has the ring around their neck. They're being forced to do something. They can't even swallow what they catch. They're used over and over and over. You're being used to give, and you don't get back. Over and over and over again. But that cormorant flew down free, float upon his emotional waters. Cormorant is a diving bird. You're able to dive down under emotional waters and you're going to get back up. We saw the Canadian goose, right? Never leave a wounded bird behind. That's you. There are 4 angels flying by with those geese. 4 angels, right? Representing myriads of angels. Remember, we've got an army. And 4 represents, there are angels all around you. You are completely guided, protected, and loved. There is no reason for fear. We will never leave a wounded bird behind. We will never leave a wounded bird behind. We will not leave you behind. This is divine intervention. This is spirit actively seeking to assist you. And you just have to be open and willing and trusting, right? It might be something that you see an object, I don't know, and it represents something to you. It means something to you. Everything is symbolic to me. Everything I look at is symbolic, right? You might look at something and realize, oh, that's beautiful, right? But it's not so much that it's beautiful, but it's the way it feels. That energy is amazing. That energy is right for me, right? That's where I'm pulled. It might be when you see a symbol or hear a song or someone says something or I don't know, witness a wedding being set up right next door. It answers a question in your mind, right? An unspoken prayer. It's not that the object is the gift. It's what it does for you, right? It's like you can give somebody a gift. Here, I got you a water bottle. Oh, thanks, that's cool, I could use that, right? But when it's wrapped up in pretty paper, that's a part of the gift too. The presentation, right? That's beautiful in itself, so you get more than just that. It's kind of like a shot in the arm, right? So, Spirit is telling you that with this heaven sent, whatever this energy is, or whatever this gift, or whatever this enlightenment, look how enlightened this being is, right? Whatever this is, it's going to empower you to do something that might feel impossible for you, right? You might not have been able to do it on your own, under your own willpower. Like that one that kept going to the side of the mountain and was no way we're gonna jump off that into the water, right? Kept wanting to do it, looked at it, went back, looked at it, went back, over and over. I know I'm strong, I know I'm confident. It's not that I'm a weak person, it's not that I'm a chicken, but right? But this is telling you that you'll be able to do this. Now, it could come in a really, really obvious manner, right? Like it could come like all of a sudden you just get a check. Now, I'm in Sedona, right? Everything went sideways. I was in Sedona for the amount of time that I was meant to be there. I reconnected with my twin soul, and I was meant to go back to California. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to leave Sturgeon Bay once I got there, right? I didn't want it to happen. But I got a letter from the court. I had to be back in 2 weeks or I would be in contempt of court. And I was like, what? There was all this, it was a complete confusion. That something was supposed to have been handled and it wasn't handled appropriately. And it landed on me and it wasn't fair, but it is, you're gonna argue with the court, right? I had $30 in my bank and my landlord, the rent was due the next day. This is a God's honest truth. My roommate comes to me because I rented the place and I rented the room out to him. And he says, I just lost my job and I'm not going to be able to stay. I'm sorry. I know I should have given you notice, but I didn't know either. And I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Now I don't even have the money from the rent from the roommate, right? I could have said to my landlord, okay, I'll give you half of the month's rent and then I'll give you the rest. No. So I had to go. And I don't have a car, right? My cars are in California. My car has a flat tire. I need a new tire. I need license and registration for 2 years. I didn't have it. And remember I told you that I got $3,000 for my house? Well, because I put a claim in for all my stuff that was stolen, that's what I got. I went I told my landlord I have to go and because I have to leave right this second. Didn't have the rent. And how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna find a place in California? How am I gonna get my car on the road, blah, blah, blah. Go to the mail, open up the mail. I needed $3,000. To do all of the things that required, the fines, the this, the that, the other. I needed $3,000. I had $3,030. So you might get exactly that amount and no more, right? But you could get a windfall of money. That could happen. Whatever this is for you. It could be significant such as that. It could be a friend. When I was in Sedona and I was really, really alone, Spirit didn't want me working with the other spiritual people there. They wanted to teach me themselves. They didn't want me to have to be untaught, right? They didn't want me to learn what these other people were feeling. They wanted to show me, because Spirit knows how I work. And people ask me all the time, how were you taught? I was taught through my dreams. I was taught through visions. I was taught through my messengers. I'm just taught through my intuition. I'm taught through Spirit. That's how they work with me. So because of that, they isolated me. And I was not to associate, because as a social butterfly, I would have grabbed onto that, right? And I wasn't allowed to be that way, so I didn't have anyone. And I was there 6 months isolated, and I was lonely. And finally I said, I can't do this anymore. You need to bring me a soulmate. I can't handle this. I've done enough. And the next day my landlord said, hey, I rented the room upstairs, and my friend John came. Oh, who did you rent it to? I think you'll like him. He does yoga. He's a rock climber. He's a hiker. He seems to be your kind of person. And he was, right? So it might be in the form of a friend. I need a freaking friend right now. I've just been through hell. I could really use a friend right now. And there's your friend, right? It could be a healing in a relationship where you haven't been speaking. It could be your lover coming. I don't know what it is for you, but it's going to be something that's going to help you perceive things differently than you have been. And right now a bee's flying around me. Sweet victory. It also means get busy and get after the honey. So if there's a step you need to take, right? So this is basically, it also could be that you are someone delivering a gift. Remember, allow someone else the pleasure of being the one that can help you. Allow someone else to let you be their friend. My friend Blaine says to me, you're such a good friend, I treasure your friendship. And I'm thinking, are you freaking kidding me? If there's anything, if I could do more, what could I do? If there's anything I can do, show me what I could do. It's not enough. Right? To love him. It's not enough to be his friend. Show me what else I can do. And so I ask all of you guys to pray for him. I ask all of you to ask for a miracle on his behalf. I don't care how it happens. Something has to happen, right? I feel like my hands are tied. And sometimes that's how people feel. So why don't you maybe you can be that for someone else. You can be, and let somebody do that for you. Do you think that I'm sitting here keeping a tally when I do things for someone? You know? It's also telling you something else. If you look at this person here, their eyes are closed. They might be closed in prayer. Look at the bags under her eyes. She's been up all night. She hasn't been sleeping. She's so worried. She doesn't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I just need your help. And the message is here. Love is directly over you. You are completely surrounded. You are being helped. Trust this. This is the message. This is the message of this card. You are being helped through unconditional love. Unconditional love says, I'm not keeping a tally. Unconditional love says, you don't have to pay me back. It could be that. Somebody just fucking hands you a check. There's a lot of people that have a lot of money, right? My dad has more money than God. If I had that much money, what I could do with that money, and it just sits in a safe. How wonderful would you feel if you could do something like this for somebody else, and Spirit is doing this for you? So all you have to do is understand that there are ascended masters working with you, and there are people that are working on your behalf, and that they love you, and Spirit is sending you help. And they're telling you what to do if you would just trust them. So there's an affirmation that you can speak. Through unconditional love, I now accept the spiritual gifts that are bestowed upon me with complete trust and gratitude. So be it. My stepfather gave me a car, and I didn't want to accept it. I was like, that is way too big. The man has not been in my life for 25 years, and he just wants to give me a car. I don't accept things from people. I have a very hard time accepting presents. I'm good now. I am. I'm able to do it now. If anyone knows me, they know that that's the truth. It was so hard. I could give other people stuff. I could do things for other people, but I couldn't do it. Just like Blaine, just like my twin, right? Oh, I'll be the one to give to you. I'll be the one to take care of you, right? And I've had to accept it in front of you guys live. Remember, I got that ticket, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pay this. And one of my soul family members said, I'm going to send you a check. And I said, no, you can't do that. But I had just given that message, and I accepted it. That was hard for me, right? It was very hard. It's humbling, but you need to be humble. And so, accept it, right? When my father gave me that car, I said no. Yeah, he was really offended, and I didn't care. I wasn't going to take a $17,000 car. No way. Where have you been? You haven't been in my life for 25 years. He says, I'm your dad. And I'm like, yeah, well, not really. Where have you been? I can't. And it wasn't that I was being mean to him or rude about it. I just know how hard he works. I know he's got a lot of money, but I know how hard he works. And mostly it was, I take care of myself, right? I know I don't have, Matt, he says, your car is old, Sherry. I said, I love my car. I love my car. It was a convertible. I loved it. I still love my car. I'm mad I sold it. I sold it to my neighbor, and he's driving it around, and my landlord always talks about it. It's green, by the way. It's called the Mermaid. Healing, love. I love that convertible. I would have just been happy to fix that little convertible up and keep it. And he's like, no, you need a brand new car. You need something that's reliable. He cared about me. He did. He was trying to give me something good, but it wasn't. I finally realized, after I said no, I realized I had been asking for help from Spirit, right? I was asking in different ways. You're asking for a job. You're asking to make more money with this job. You're asking for that. And somebody hands you a car. That was the universe answering me. I took the car. He says, I don't care what you do with it. You can take it. You can sell it. He wanted to give it to me. There was something that he needed to do that. And I needed to allow him to do that. It was important for him. And it was a big deal. For a long time, it was embarrassing for me. But I had to understand that it was the universe responding to what I asked. So sometimes you get something and it's not what you think, right? Well, I wanted that job. Well, that's not what you're getting. You're getting your ex-girlfriend saying, call me, I'll come pick you up. You can stay here. That's what it is, right? Correct for neutrality on all levels. It's your friend forcing you to type, Father, please send me a miracle. Isn't that interesting? Oh, and did I tell you? I asked Blaine, did you ever ask that before? And he never had. Maybe that's all he needed to do, right? Because all Spirit wants us to do is take the step they tell us to take, right? That person's supposed to jump off that cliff and they don't want to do it. Somebody else was already down there. They weren't dead, right? It's scary though, right? No one ever said it would be easy. They just said it would be right. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the last item, which is either the lake or I don't even remember. That's what we're doing now. Correct for neutrality. I'm gonna go bike riding. My landlord is the coolest guy, I'm telling you. He's got this big house, he has to keep himself busy, right? He takes my bike. I've got this super cool beach cruiser that I bought when I was in Sturgeon Bay 6 months after I moved there, because I was walking everywhere I went. I had no car. And it's purple, color of spirituality, right? And it's got a basket on it. It's got a bell. It had a horn until I fell. I had it in Sedona. And it's hard here because we've got a lot of hills here. But I'm gonna throw it in the back of my trunk and take it down to the flat area, and I'm just gonna ride. It's the best feeling in the world. I wanna get my legs back in shape, right? And I love that beach cruiser. I love it. Correct for neutrality on all levels. But I wanted to say is, my landlord goes, oh, we need to fix your bike up. Because he rides his bike every day, right? He pulls it out and he goes, I need to, you know, lube and oil your bike and fix your tires and put some air in it. And I'm just like, I didn't even ask him. That's a friend, right? That's a gift. Because why? I said to Spirit, I gotta get my legs in shape. I need to go bike riding. And I said that to him, I'm gonna take my bike out. And he goes, you can't take your bike out. It's thrashed right now. And so he did that. So what's gonna happen today? I'm gonna go bike riding. So it's answers. It's answers. Those are answers to prayers. Those are little prayers when you ask for something, right? It happens. And what I like about Blaine doing what I made him do is that when you, because he didn't believe it, right? You manifest easier when you release it, right? So when I say it, yeah, I would love to hear from my twin today. Oh, a butterfly went by right then. Did you see it? Did you see it? Right when I said that, I would love to hear from my twin today. And then, of course, not believing it because I've said that a million times, go bike riding, and then all of a sudden I get an email. That's how it happens, because you put it out of your mind, because you're not sitting there stressing about it, right? So I said to Blaine, I don't even care if you don't believe it. Don't believe it. Just say it. Right? It's kind of like fake it till you make it. And I said, your body believes what you tell it, even if your brain doesn't say it. Right? My body's in shape. My body has energy. My body is healing itself. My body, that lump in my neck is some kind of weird energy that is going to that vein in my head, and it's releasing the pressure. Who knows why it's there? Who knows? Could be a little pocket of spirit just sitting there, just waiting for him to say, Father, I need a miracle. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose, I think, the lake, right? The delicate fairy and her ferrets. Ferrets are stinky. Do you know that? They're funny as hell, too. So it's talking about change. They've got sharp little teeth. They look like weasels, right? So the delicate fairy and her ferret is talking about change. Change is natural, and yes, it can hurt, right? Yeah, it can. Usually does, right? For some reason, it's difficult. Change is difficult because we're creatures of habit, right? We get comfortable in certain environments. We get comfortable doing, certain patterns per certain belief systems. And then when we have to have that changed, when that's something that's not something that we've ever understood, or that's something that we've ever believed, or that's something that we thought was possible, it's hard, right? Sometimes it can be rough, painful rough, like pregnancy, like delivering a baby. Especially, some people have an easy time delivering a baby. My body doesn't ever want to let go of their baby. That's funny, because it's true. My body nurtures babies and doesn't want to release them. And I needed to know that when my kids were growing up, because I didn't do that with my kids. I let them go. When they were 18, they were free to make their choices, right? But that's what I did with my twin soul. He was my babe, right? And I was holding him. He needs my love, he needs my love. No, he needs to stand up. He needs to be strong. He needs to do this on his own. He's just as strong as you are. He doesn't need you to do it for him. He can do it himself. If he wants to come to you for assistance, that's cool, but you don't need to baby him. He's not a baby. And I never saw him as a baby, but I did that, right? I did that mothering type thing. And my body didn't want to release it. So when the babies came to be born, they couldn't be born. There was no opening. There was nowhere for them to go. And I was in labor for 3.5 days with my, what is it called? I was dilated 2 centimeters for 3.5 days. Extreme heavy labor. I'm dying, right? It was painful, I gotta tell you, and it was a miracle. It was a miracle, because they had the life flight ready. They said that my son's heart was failing. He had a hole in his heart that wasn't closing. And they asked my mother, it's her or the baby. We're sorry, there's no way. And I heard. I was unconscious, but I heard them. And I said, no, that's not happening. And let get this baby out. And he was out, man. Bam. They didn't know how that happened. When they took him away, I passed out. I didn't know for a couple days, but they said when they took him away, they looked at him and they were just like, they didn't understand. Now, what's so interesting about it is my son, you know, the hole in the heart that didn't close. They said it didn't close, and that's why they were going to have to take him to Children's Hospital. They were going to have to life flight him, and they went to look at him. But if you look at my son's chest, even to this day, he has a little dip in his chest right there. So that literally instantly was healed. Instantly. That was a miracle baby. So it was painful, though, I got to tell you, for him and for me. So right now, there's changes that you might be confronted with right now that you're facing. A change of the way I'm going to live my life, a change of relationship, a change of my job. Oh, beauty, beauty. Beauty. You guys, I hope you saw that. Ooh, I love it, love it, love it. And another. I love being down here. This is a white swallow. Harbinger of hope, bringer of spring and summer. Okay, so the change, whatever your change is, you know what your change is that you're going through. And right now, Spirit is saying that you're not allowed to be passive in this situation. So again, you're being required to take action, right? She's the one that's going through the difficulty here. And these little wild ones, these 3 ascended masters, right? Full circle completion, they're gonna help her. Help her to care for herself and care less about what other people think of her. Because maybe that's your issue. You've always been wanting to please everyone else or wanting the approval of others, right? This is how, in our family, the way things have been done. And if I go against that's going against, you know, generations. And this is about not caring about what other people think. This is about teaching you. They're going to teach you how to use your claws, right? They're going to teach you to have a nose for danger. When this is not good for me, when this is not in my highest good, right? How to be clever. Ferrets are very sneaky, right? When do I need to be sneaky? When do I need to adapt? When do I need to go in a different way than someone expects of me? How do I develop the skills that I have, right? I've got skills. I've got skills to pay the bills. How are we going to do that, right? They're also showing you that while you go through this change, you've got trusted companions with you. Of course, the Ascended Masters are with you, right? Could also be a friend. It's sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees. We're lost in the trees, right? I can't see my way. I have got no problem saying I don't know what's about to happen. Something is about to happen in my life. It's a big change. I know that. It's been upon me for a while. I feel it. Don't know what it is, but it's here. So this is going to help you as you go through what you don't know. They're going to guide you. When you're feeling vulnerable, when you're feeling exposed. I am exposed. I don't know what's going on. I'm open. I'm telling you out loud, right? I'm speaking publicly. I'm open. I'm ready. I'm willing. I don't know what the hell I'm about to do, right? But I'm going to listen and I'm going to take your lead and I'm going to do it. They're going to show you how to do it. There's going to be shifts and transitions that you have to go through. And when you're feeling exhausted, and usually when something you get to this point where you know you have to make a change, you are exhausted. Right? You're not in your top form. It's not like, okay, I've been planning for this change. This change has to happen because things are not good. So this is epic, right? This is when you choose, I'm not going to be defeated. I'm going to do what I need to do. Because Spirit is saying that a cycle has ended. 3 is full circle completion. A cycle has ended. Man, a bird went flying 100 miles an hour. Do you see that by me? So fast. So fast. That's how quickly this is changing right now. And that's how quickly something might happen on a dime. Something's going to turn, right? So this is happening. Something has changed and you need to courageously make a decision, make a choice to go in a direction that's in your highest good, right? I was talking to somebody yesterday about one of my clients, and she said, I know it's hard for me. I know that we have to be willing to let go of old belief systems. Yes, and it's hard. I was raised one of Jehovah's Witnesses. It took me 7 years to fully believe that I was not working with demons. After I left that, 7 years. And yet everything I did helped people. It was all about love. And yet I had that burned into my brain since I was a little girl, right? I have no doubt in my mind that I work with Spirit. I've never had such a close relationship with my father, ever in my life. Ever, 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 ever. Ever. But there was belief systems that needed to be changed, right? This is about truths. And Blaine, he's a Virgo. My twin's a Virgo moon and Blaine's a Virgo. They're the only ones who can put me in my place, and I listen. It cracks me up because they know how to do it, And everything he would say, yes, but whose truth? And I'm like, okay, oh sensei, you know? Whose truth? Because then that's really the truth. Whose truth? That's your truth. It's not necessarily my truth. It may have been my truth at one time, but it isn't now. Because for me, that doesn't work anymore, right? It might be working for you. So right now, I'm contrasting what I was. That's not how you've been your whole life. That's why people get annoyed with us, right? You're not, where's my mom? Where's my brother? Where's my son? Who are you? The hell's wrong with you? What are you, some kind of a hypocrite? I know what you've done. Doesn't matter what I've done. Doesn't matter who I was yesterday. Today, this is my choice. Today, this no longer works for me. Today, I have to make a different decision because something has ended and I'm going in a different direction because if I keep doing the same thing again and again, I'm not going to get a different result, right? I want something positive for my life. I'm gonna start questioning, what is this attachment that's causing this problem in my life? Why am I getting this? And I find out it's my ex's wife that's attached to that person. So sometimes, you know what? That person isn't necessarily a bad person, but if you hang out with that person and that person is connected to the other person, then they're connected to you. And through that, there's a problem. There's attachments. You have to be thinking about your own safety, right? Your own well-being. So right now, what attachments do you need to release? Is it to the material world? Is it to the need or the feeling that I must have this, or I must do this, or I must look this way, or things have to be in this order? Or in my world, a man does this and a woman does that, right? Those are attachments and those are beliefs. Those are truths and attachments to truths. But whose truth is that? Who says that that's the way it has to be? Everybody has their own perspective. Everybody has their own belief. Everybody has their own truth. It doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means it's not my truth. It's their truth. That's why Spirit didn't want me to be taught by those other spiritual people. That wasn't the truth they wanted me to be understanding because they understood what my brain worked with. I came on this planet. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness for a reason. I had that background, right? That Bible knowledge, that understanding of religion. I had that family type unit. I understood alcoholism in a family. I understood sexual abuse in the family. I grew up with all of these things. There were reasons why I experienced all of those things. And then you take all of that, and then he teaches me this, and then with mixing it together, I have the way that I teach, right? And the way that I understand Spirit, so that I can relate to so many people out there. Now, maybe so many people out there don't relate to me. They relate to those other ones. I listen to my other friends, and they teach, and I think to myself, that's like a show they're putting on. They're acting like they're putting on costumes, and but they're appealing to a certain type of people. They still are speaking their truth, right? It's like their gimmick, right? You know what I mean? So that's why you don't want to copy anyone. You have to be who you are truthfully yourself, because we all have skills. And if you're feeling vulnerable right now, Spirit says it's okay. It's okay to feel afraid. That doesn't mean you don't act, right? Sometimes you make that leap and take that leap being really, really scared. You're scared. You know you're going to be caught, but you're still scared. They're always difficult. They always take us out of our comfort zone, right? It's like me being taken by Spirit and telling me that I have to jump out of a plane. I've got to tell you, man, I've jumped off of cliffs in Canada, right? Thetis Lake. I jumped off a 45-foot cliff, and I thought I was going to die. I thought my heart was going to explode. I hit the water, and dang, that hurt, right? My feet hit the water like this, and I swear to God, I thought I broke them. I didn't, but I mean, it was scary, you know? So yeah, it's gonna not feel great sometimes. It's difficult, it's unfamiliar, I don't know it. It's not what I do, it's not how I handle myself. But Spirit says we need to focus not on the fear. At this point, you have to take your focus and stop thinking about the fear. A lot of times, that's what the problem is that the fear. I've been abused in relationships before. I've been cheated on. I've been, I met this girl and she was really sweet. She loved me. She thought I was the best thing since sliced bread. And then she got to know me and she started doing this and that and the other. I'm not going there again. I'm not going to be taken advantage of. I'm not going to open up my heart just so you can slaughter it. I've been there before. Okay, but you're projecting onto that person. It's happened 3 times. That's fine. It could have happened every single day until yesterday. It doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. If Spirit's telling you to move forward with something, they're telling you to move forward because it's in your highest good. So they're telling you it might hurt a little bit. Yeah, just like it hurt my feet, but it didn't kill me. Right? It might hurt. It might hurt to say I'm sorry. It might hurt to tell the truth about what I did. I might have to face recriminations. It's not going to kill you. I went to jail twice. I got DUIs, 2. I'm not a drinker. I'm not an alcoholic. The first time I deserved it, I did. I was out partying, and the person that was supposed to drive didn't drive, and they said, we just go down the street, we could do it, and I got the DUI. I deserved it. It was stupid. The second time was also stupid, but it wasn't because I had been drinking. I went out with the same person, and Spirit kept trying to show me. My thing was peer pressure. Right? My thing was peer pressure. You're no fun anymore. Ever since you started this spiritual path, you don't smoke pot, you don't drink, you don't dance, you don't party, you don't do anything. You're my best friend. What am I supposed to do? And I'm just like, God. So I didn't want to go, right? It was mad. But it was my best friend. It was my ex-husband who was my best friend. So we went out. And we got to this place, and the music was a disaster. And I'm like, you know what? I was in a bad mood anyway. I didn't want to go. I took 1 shot. I didn't want a shot. I said, I don't want a shot. And he goes, come on, you're no fun. 1 shot of tequila. It's disgusting. I said, look, there's no point. Can we go now? Can we go? Can we just go back to the house? So he's like, fine, I'll follow you. And we'll just go back to my house. So we get in the cars, right? And he gets nervous because he's had too much to drink. And he cuts off the road. And I'm like, what? And he calls me. He called me. I pick up my phone to look at my phone. Boo! Cop pulls me over, and I'm just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And he goes, do you know why I pulled you over? And I said, no. And he goes, you were talking on your cell phone. I'm like, I mean, it all happened for a reason. And then he says, were you drinking? And I don't ever lie. And I said, no. I said, well, yeah, I had 1 shot. And he asked me for my license. And I didn't realize that the probation period for my DUI that was years before, I guess there's a probation period, right? 3 weeks from being up. He got me out of the car, slammed me onto the hood of the car like I was a criminal, ripped my arm up behind my back. It hurt so bad, I couldn't believe it. Threw me in the back of the cop car. Second DUI. $20,000 in fines, 2.5 years of classes. I'm still paying because my insurance is through the roof because of 2 DUIs. Why? Because I didn't listen to what my higher self said. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to have a drink. I didn't want to be anywhere there. Why did I do it? Because I was pressured, because somebody else made me feel bad. No, they didn't make me feel bad. It was my choice. It was my choice. I stayed in jail until 3:30 in the afternoon because he was so scared to come get me because he knew I was going to kill him. Also, he was throwing up because he was so drunk. And all of a sudden the cop comes in and he says to me, your daughter's here. Oh my God, I was mortified. My daughter. I didn't want my daughter to know. I said, how does she know? And he goes, I don't know. He was disgusted with me. So then my daughter comes and he goes, Mom, she goes, Mom, it's fine. You know, it happens. And I'm just mortified. I mean, I was dressed up, right, from the night before. I'm crying, right? I didn't sleep. I was mortified. Didn't realize because there's no mirrors there. I've got black mascara all down my cheeks. I got fishnet stockings on, a cute little short skirt, a night outfit, right? There's my daughter standing next to me. My daughter looks like, you know, Little House on the Prairie. My daughter, this little innocent, right? And the cop looks at me and he goes, nice mother. Good example. And I'm like, you have no idea who I am. You have no idea. So see, it looked really, really bad. It did look really bad. It was awful, but I wasn't a freaking drunk. I made it was the worst mistake of my life. And I've heard that in my dream. I went to a bar. I woke up in some guy's house. The next morning, it was the worst mistake I made in my life. I don't even know what happened. I don't know who that was. I heard it in my dream. Shit happens. It happens for a reason. It was a learning lesson. It was sure for me. And you know, I got to tell you the God's honest truth. After that second DUI, I was so terrified about getting another. Because if I got another DUI, I would have an automatic 1 year in jail. Forget the fines and the classes and 1 year in jail. And what was interesting to me is that I was so scared. Why was I scared? Because I was still hanging around with him. And I thought, what if I do drink? I don't drink at all now. It's very, very rare. I'm not saying that I can't. I wouldn't mind getting buzzed. I like it. It's a fun feeling, right? But it will never happen again. You wouldn't catch me in a car if alcohol was even sitting in a room next to me. It'll never happen again. Never. But I needed that. I mean, can you imagine if that police officer had understood that I was a spiritual teacher and I had a spiritual page? I know that was something that was spread about me. Oh yeah, she's a spiritual teacher. You know she has 2 DUIs? Yeah, you know, because I tell you. I'm not hiding anything. I'm just like you, right? I make poor choices. Clearly that was a poor choice, right? And when I found him, man, I gotta tell you, he hid from me for 2 weeks. He's like, you were gonna kill me, I knew it. My daughter said, you let her sit in jail? You let her sit there all day? I had to find out where she was by looking everywhere. No, she finally called him, right? He didn't answer the phone. Where is mom? She's in jail. She's like, what? She's in jail. You want to talk about humiliating? It's not bad enough that I've been divorced more than once, but I've also gone to jail. Oh my God. Of course, this spiritual family isn't going to want me with their Puritan son, right? She isn't who she says she is. Yeah, I am. I'm a truth teller, right? Shit happens to all of us. We'll be helped through it. We're pushed out of our comfort zone. We're being asked to make changes, and we're being told that we're going to be okay, we're going to be supported, and we can do it. And so don't, if I can sit here and tell my truth, my embarrassment, I got to tell you, for a long time I couldn't. I carried the scarlet letter on my back my whole life because I got divorced when I was so young. It wasn't even my fault, but it was a shame. Shame. I shamed myself. Self-shame. My problem was my own self-shame and other people's peer pressure. Me allowing them to talk me into something I don't want. My landlord does it constantly. Constantly tries to get me to drink. No, 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 no. It's not that I won't ever. If I was with my twin soul and we were going to go out and have an evening and go dancing, I would love to. It's because that's who I would be with. But I'm not going to sit at dinner and have a drink with somebody that I don't have that interest in. You know what I mean? It's not, I don't crave that substance, and I don't like it. And there's no use, it's fattening anyway. I like bread, I'm a bread girl. It's not good, I could survive on bread and water. So why put on the extra pounds with a drink of something that I would be happy with my chia water when I could have sourdough bread with my meal instead in exchange? So that's it, you guys. We're done. I'll have you take a look around. It's actually quite humid. I'm gonna have to dress into a little sundress or something if I go bike riding. So if anyone would like help with a private reading or dream analysis or Reiki charged, crystal, sage wand, or anything else I can help you with, my website is www.theangelswhisper.com. Thank you for all of your support, and please like, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and share the videos so most people can get the message as possible. I love your messages. I do. I love hearing the comments and stuff. As I said before, please don't say negative things. I've had people fighting with one another. I don't want that. Please, I'll delete them. But yeah, the comments are cool. It's neat to connect with the United Consciousness. We are all part of the United Collective, right? So it's really cool to be talking to people from all over the world. I like it. It's really cool. So you guys have a beautiful day. Thanks for being with me. And I got to think about this too and see what it was. I didn't get my message in this reading. So we'll find out what it is. It's going to happen today. Something I'm going to want to do that I'm not going to be doing, I guess. Right? I'm going to have to heed wise counsel. And here comes the water. It's getting kind of rough right now. So there's emotional waters chopped up. Maybe that's something's going to be happening right now. All right. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.